Now, for more on the exchanges in Parliament, let's speak to Manhyia North MP Akwesi Kunedu, whose statement on the floor sparked the debate. Now, thank you very much, Honourable, for joining us. Now, if you can hear me loud and clear, was this the kind of reaction you anticipated from your statement, especially as the debate focused on the roles that both major political parties, the NDC and PP, have played in fueling illegal mining activities?
Frema, thank you very much. I hope I can be heard loud and clear.
Very loudly.
Frema, when I made the statement, this statement was meant to draw the attention of everybody to the needless death that we are experiencing in this country as a result of illegal mining activities, both direct and indirect, and the call of action by the executive and all of us towards the fight against small-scale illegal mining activities in this country. But the approach currently adopted by our colleagues in the NDC and the government is an approach of visiting the past, which is supposed to be a guide for us, but now tend to be a justification for recklessness as to how the handling of illegal small-scale mining activity in this country is going. You would always find people who make references to the past, events of the past, whether right or wrong allegations, whether confirmed as fact or not, and use that as a justification for what is happening today. And I find that very worrying. In the statement, I cataloged some events that have happened in this country where individuals have lost their lives, and where also indirectly, because currently, Frema, people in the sciences, either food, nutrition, pathologists, and the rest are telling us that the effect of small-scale mining activities on our water bodies, in our forest reserves, in our farmlands, the consequences of it, the use of chemicals, and the effect that we are going to have indirectly over a period of time is devastating. Currently, as we speak, our forest resources, in terms of the trees that we have, trees that could have served as resources for building, for medicinal purposes and the rest, are going extinct. In the same way, even animals that were indigenous to certain local areas are going extinct. We are losing our natural resources and the rest.
Right.
It is affecting us. So the call for action by the executives currently is neither anything that people on the opposite side of the aisle ought to be referring us to the past. If that should be the case, therefore not ought to be any discussion about this matter.
But before you go on, is this to suggest that the human cost of galamsey is not being given enough national attention?
Frema, of course, yes. And I would give you more examples about that. Frema, I would not even want to come first and foremost to what happened at Hwidim in the Bunahafo region. But if you would remember, about 2 months ago at Agresun, where you had men amassing to face men in uniform, armed, it ended up with the life of one assembly member. Frema, what happened just about 3 days ago is a worrying situation. Currently, as we speak, these actions, direct or overt, by political actors, because now I say so because there is members of parliament whose names have been mentioned, and Speaker have had calls to complain about that. We know that one was reported to have been invited by the police, sent to court, and bail conditions have been given for the person to go for investigations to continue. These activities are emboldening people in the small-scale illegal mining activity.
Right.
They are armed. If you look at what the colonel said and the information that we have, evidences abound. These people were armed with rifles.
Right.
If we encourage that, we are only building up bandits who will later on carry this country as hostage.
Right, Honourable, you know, for the sake of time, I would want us to move a bit quickly. Let's look at what transpired in Parliament today. What conclusions have you drawn, in the partisan posturing of illegal mining activities in the country and how this is affecting the fight against illegal mining?
The conclusion from I've drawn is that our people in government now are not interested in discussing the matter of illegal mining activities, but rather want to shift the blame and recall the past into the present. And that is very worrying. If anybody would want to do that and use that as a justification, why we should just accept what is happening now, because in the past, this is what happened in the rest. It means they are not willing to act on these matters. And that is very worrying. And that is the situation that I don't want us to find ourselves in, but our people would want us to find ourselves in, people in government now. Because if we don't act and act well now, there will be no future for us today, for our children to come and continue. If you heard the submission of my honorable member, Professor Kisinyako from Kwadaso, you just could see the worry in his tone. But the other people could not take that and felt that they ought to be recalling the Environment Ministry as a place. Look, are they wanting to tell us that the colonel that is leading Naimos today, telling us that he feared for his life? And I recall that in his mind, maybe the errors of Major Manhyia was coming to his mind. Is that what they want us to be having under their reign? That is a serious matter. And we all have to call up and make sure that we call the executive to order and tell them they cannot use the charade of calling people and they will tell you we are bringing our own people on board and we are sending them to Yoko, Yamin, and Abanga. We send Kwado to the court and they read as a charade.
We'll have to end here.
We want them to put
Honorable,
illegal mine activity.
Thank you very much for your time on the Channel One newsroom. So we've been talking to the Manhyia North MP, Akwesi Kunedu, on what transpired on the floor of Parliament today.